this man was still on the seat. News broke yesterday evening that this man has been kicked out. I'm talking about Mele Kyari.
Yeah, in fact, when I woke up this morning with the news, I felt excited. My smiles was just like
coast to coast.
Yeah, coast to coast, if you like. I'm happy that for once President Tinubu is getting it right. When he took his oath of office and came up to withdraw fuel subsidy, the first advice I gave on your program shortly after his swearing in was that he should do Nigerians that favor of removing the chairman of EFCC. The reason I gave about the EFCC chairman was because of he was virtually he joined the political fray. He was virtually putting the badge of a political party on his chest and was appearing on programs talking. And then I also advised that the CBN governor should be removed. Recall that the CBN governor, prior to election, we had that cash grunt where there was no resource, there was no money. You have to use your money, own money to buy money.
On the day of the president's birthday, the president recounted how he got discouraged because of this whole situation.
So that's it. So I said the president should do us a favor of sending the CBN governor out of that office. And then I said that he should also remove Mele Kyari. I said it because Mele Kyari has been, since 2018, from the days of Buhari's administration, he was appointed the CMD of NNPC before it now became NNPCL. He was appointed by Tinubu in 2023. I have never seen someone who has been appointed or employed to carry out a duty with a specific assignment, and the person has failed for, call it, from 2018 to 2024, has not been able to refine a single crude of oil, apart from when we started having the petroleum refinery coming back to stream, after the president had begun to issue marching orders. Before the president even came on board, during the Buhari's administration, we were told that there will be petroleum, that the petroleum refinery will come back on stream. We've been told severally, and they keep failing. And the sole aim of NNPC, as under Mele Kyari, is to import fuel. And as God will now have it, to save Nigerians, we now got Dangote refinery coming on stream. And you could see the challenge that Dangote faced in the hands of NNPC. At a point, Dangote, was like, let me begin to export this crude oil, this petrol, to outside the country and make my money. Since the Nigerian government has refused to partner with me. So it took Nigerians, it took us a lot of advocacies, calling out the president, calling out Mele Kyari, before NNPC now went into a deal of 6 months that they will supply crude oil to Dangote refinery and get their cash in naira. Dangote can't be refining product in Nigeria here and be buying Nigerian product in dollar. Why do we not try to dollarize our economy? So that for me was a no-go. It was a no-no for us. So we called on president to get Mele Kyari out of office so that we can get someone who understands our ordeal, who knows our challenges, who can wear our shoes, who feels the pains of Nigerians. And as God will have it, that has been done yesterday, and we believe that those who have now taken over will now be able to address the shortcomings of the past administration of that NNPC board. Like I have said before, Nigerians are suffering. Nigeria is operating a petrodollar economy. Every of our survival, our livelihood, our well-being rest on petrol, rest on what happens in the crude oil sector. Now, if we don't have it, and how can you be blessed with abundant resources in your land, and yet you are importing it? The only thing that the NNPC was doing under Mele Kyari administration was to import fuel and then tell you that market forces determine the prices. How do you did I vote in market forces? I did not. We voted in President Tinubu to give us sufficient petroleum, in the land, so that we can be able to, live comfortably. Because everything, transport sector, everything rests squarely on the petroleum economy. And when you fail in that sector, you have lost it. So this morning, I am here to say President Tinubu has done well, and I urge those who are taking over from Melekari and Co. to leave above board and ensure.
Engineer Ojulari is a new person now.
He should ensure that the mistakes of his predecessor are not repeated.
All right, away from national issue, one of the biggest conversations as we speak today, most of the headlines in the dailies have this one. But let's come back to Akwa Ibom State. You've also been very frontal on two issues. And I'd like to ask, since the last time we spoke, is that the rain?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Wow, it must be pounding heavy. My, okay. The question I'm asking, the last time we said, I think it's about
more than 3 months. About this issue you want to raise now.
Yeah.
More than 3-4 months.
Okay, so the last time we spoke about it. So I want to ask you, what is the update about potholes? What is the update about refuse? I'm hearing whispers in the corridor that refuse have resurfaced again. I wonder why.
Well, I hate to say this, but I have to say it. I am disappointed that it will take us to come here to speak before the government will act on its social responsibility, on its commitment to good governance, on its commitment to delivering dividend of democracy. I don't want to say that the government has become a push and start administration. This is my own language. And I will explain why I am feeling very bad about what I want to say. It should not be that we will come here. Okay, I have not been coming on air for the past 2 weeks. Things have gone bad. So must we take Franklin the song and Ike or Passion FM to remind government what the government should do? When the government has people who are assigned on their respective duties, government has agencies, ministries, and persons who are appointed to carry out their duties, and they don't do it. So if Ike is not in Akwa Ibom, if Franklin travels out of Akwa Ibom, so what happens to the state? So it is very sad that we are like coming back here to remind government of its social duties on the state and the people of the state. You have mentioned refuse. I think it is a very shameful thing that Akwa Ibom State, under the present government, is battling with refuse. The immediate past government, Akwa Ibom State was winning the cleanest city, the cleanest town, the cleanest state in Nigeria. What has gone wrong? The same Prince Akpan Ikim that was there in the Udom's government, the same person who is there in Umano's government. What has changed? Why the difference? Why the difference in approach? I will leave this to the governor and his team to answer, because it is very sad that same persons who were in office when we had several, laurels, several awards of the cleanest city in town, the cleanest state in Nigeria, cleanest state in the world, and barely 2 years after, same personnel are there in same office and things are going bad. Enter Nepal line from Accra Road. The refuse is, in fact, it has closed into the road. I mean, from Accra Road.
This very popular
Accra Road. Enter Nepal line from there. The refuse that has caved in and almost closed the road. Enter the town Uyo Township Stadium from Obimo. That axis just by the fence of the stadium. Refuse have caved into the road. You enter Akpaube through IBB just shortly after Ibom Hall. Refuse have caved into even covered the road and several other spots in town. This is very sad, and we have agency that is drawing allocation that are manned by people who were there in Udom's government and they were doing well and are still there, and nothing is being done.
You don't suppose
positively to that effect to get it cleaned off.
There was a question you asked, and I regret to also say this. You do not suppose, because you cannot do this job without funds. You cannot evacuate refuse. Hold on. Let me conclude my thoughts. You cannot evacuate refuse, maintain cleanliness without spending money. You don't suppose we have a funds problem, and that is why maybe the agency that is saddled with that responsibility is not exactly up and coming, as you say.
I don't want to speak for the agency. I don't want to speak for the agency. My duty is to hold them accountable to their responsibility. If they are not funded, they should let us know why they're not doing their job. It is either two things. Either of these two things could be the possibility of why they are not functioning. Either there is no fund, or either they have run out of ideas. Either of these two. So you pick one. But I'm here not to postulate or to guess, to do a guesswork. I stand in the middle. I am calling them out to do their job. If you are not funded, or if the government has refused to fund your agency, he has a reason. If he doesn't want you to be there, let him get you out of the office and get someone else and fund the place. That is the point. That is why I'm here. I'm not here to do advocacy for asking for funds, because I don't know. I don't have the facts if they'll be funded or not. My point is that they have a duty to evacuate refuse. Gaskia, case closed. If you are unable to evacuate refuse, quit the scene. Let someone else who can do it take over. Because the government will not get someone or will not allow an agency such as sensitive as ASEMA to stay without funding. That is what I want to say. So I will call on my friend and brother, Prince Akbanikim, to move to the street and begin to evacuate refuse. That is what I want to do this morning.
You do not also suppose that the Akwa Ibom is fast becoming a hub of assaults.
That's the point.
And people are coming in. The numbers are increasing. You don't also think that people are perhaps dumping refuse indiscriminately, like as it's raining now. Most likely the rain is going to wash out some dirt from places that people have dumped refuse indiscriminately.
You see, it would have been very easier for me to begin to, be tempted to adopt your postulation, your line of thinking. If, we see something like action, we see his men on the street every now and then, evacuating refuse, and then the next second people dump it at various points. I could remember like 4 years ago when I engaged my friend and brother Prince Kim. In fact, we went around town. We used to have this kind of challenge under Udom's government. I had to engage him just like this, and he took us around town and he showed us the official dumping point where the government kept assigned waste bins. And then we saw those official points there, and he even had to tell us the unapproved point where people also go there and drop. And now the point is the unapproved point that people drop there, go there and drop refuse. What they normally do then was to ensure prompt evacuation, because knowing that point has no refuse bin, so people just drop it on the floor, and so they go there to evacuate it promptly, and that was how they were able to do it. So I don't want to stay here to begin to argue blindly or like argument of the deaf. I'm speaking when I don't have the fact. Let him come and say the issue is with the state. We are now overwhelmed by the increase in population of the people of the state, or we are overwhelmed by lack of manpower, or we are overwhelmed by lack of resources. But the truth remains that the agency is backed up by law to evacuate refuse, and my duty as citizen of the state, who is a taxpayer, is to call out the agency to carry out their duty. If they have any challenge in any way, they have a way to sort it out between them and the government.
All right, so we will leave that and expect that actions will follow in the coming days.
And let me even add this. The only time you hear the agency doing their work, which I want to say it with all honesty, I say this, is when the state government declares environmental sanitation.
That may not be correct,
Why I'm saying so is that is when you will see them everywhere, because the government will be monitoring diseases, and then they will be going around with the truck. That is the only time you can see them walk.
Well, that again,
that is why I'm saying so.
Even I said, that may not be correct.
That is my own opinion. That is why I say it's my own opinion. I want their team to begin to go out to evacuate refuse. We are now entering the rainy season, and the refuse on the street, or flooding the area, will be, washed into the drains, and that will cause, an overflow of flood on the streets, on our streets. So the gutter should be distilled, and the refuse evacuated and taken to where they ought to be, emptied.
All right, so let us leave that and talk about another very important aspect, which you have also been one of the crusaders about, the issue of potholes. Jokingly, I taunted you one time when I said you didn't have work. When you came on here and said you counted 99 potholes.
Yeah.
Are you still counting those potholes now? I want to believe the governor has silenced people like you.
I like your sense of humor when you say silence someone like us. Truth is, look at our background. Do a background check on who we are. By the special grace of God, we've been doing this for the past 3 decades. That's 30 years, past 30 years. We didn't become Franklin the Song or become advocates of, just emergency activists or emergency human rights activists or emergency advocacies. We were there. We were there in 93. We were there in 99. We were there in 203. We were there in 207. We were there in 2011. We were there in 2015, 2019, 2023, and we'll still be here. So that's the point. We have made our contributions to the development of the state and the nation.
They say the best way to silence critics is action, right?
And
so when I said maybe the governor silenced people like you, I didn't mean like gag or put you guys somewhere in the back. I'm saying
I will be applauding the government.
No, hold on. I'm saying maybe the governor is now doing so much that you can't find potholes to count.
Then why am I here then?
Maybe you should tell us that.
Then why am I here?
Tell us.
If the governor has done so much, I will be sleeping in my house. It's about raining.
It's raining.
It's raining. I will be in my house sleeping.
As we speak.
Good. I will be taking a leave and go stay in London, go stay in California, anywhere I want to stay.
Oh, you can afford it. That's
of course, by God's grace, we can. By God's grace. So, but because we have the need to be around, to always call government attention to refuse, to this, to that. That is why we are still here. We are still here. That is the truth about it. Those who have left this country, are they more than us? Our colleagues who have left, journalists, activists, lawyers, doctors, nurses who have left this country to get greener pasture elsewhere, do they have 7 heads? They do not. But because they see that they cannot continue with bad governance in the country, they have to elope to greener pasture elsewhere. But for us, we took an oath to continue to protect our democracy, which we fought for.
It's good to know that you're protecting the democracy that you
That's what we fought for. Yes,
because one would have asked the same question, the one that said Femi Fani-Kano day off, like who's bankrolling?
That's the point.
So because, in terms of this advocacy for that long a time, somebody must be bankrolling you.
That's the point. If someone had been bankrolling for the past 30 years, the person would have been tired by now. Because it's not something, the person would have been either touched negatively in one way by the advocacy. Because it is easier for you to bankroll a project when it's favoring you. But when it touches on your person or on your dream or somebody whom you support or believe, you will just withdraw. But truth is that what is sustaining and bankrolling us is passion and the dream of good governance.
I must thank you for acknowledging Passion FM there.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
Let's talk about
So
that.
now,
Have you seen any?
I'm going to that point. I'm going to that point. We are still trying to lay a foundation as to why we should have good governance. I'm happy that, we keep having, evolving from one government to the other. And the same voice that you heard during the Urban Waters government has been the same lone voice that has been talking during Akpabio's government. That same lone voice had been talking during the Udom's administration. The same lone voice is here under Omono's government to talk.
Almost, I would have called you a trick on John the Baptist.
Well, if you like, a lone voice. Let me give you, before I get to your question, it's good for you to understand, what I'm made up with. There are people who have dream, and the dream is to see things done rightly. And no matter how you color it, if you know that thing is not done rightly, it can't be done rightly. It can't be said to have been done rightly. And that is where we belong. Now, my late dad gave me a parable and said that there was an old woman in our community in those years, and each time we will have influencer coming to eat our crops, eat our farmland, she will be talking, she will be shouting, giving forewarning, giving notice that influencer will come. Influencer, we should be talking, and they call her talkative. When people come and when invaders come and invade the community to kill them, and she will be giving warning for like 2-3 months ahead. She will be talking because she was very aged, she couldn't walk. She will be giving alarm, she will be talking, she will be announcing it. So one particular day, they now bundled the old woman who was almost crippled, took her to the forest and said, "This woman, you've been talking too much. We can't afford to allow you to stay here and be making noise, talking every night. You'll be talking, and all you'll be talking, carry her and go and dump her in the evil forest." And she stayed there under the tree, the big Iroko tree. The leaves withered and the leaf fell on the old woman, and she was almost being buried by the leaves. But all those things she said will happen in the community started happening. Influenza came, flood came, earthquake, enemies came, invaded the community, and they were like, and then somebody now said, one man used to warn us. That old man used to talk about it. She warned us. They said, where is she? Where is she? They now went to that evil forest where she was dumped. Leaves that had, died on the tree covered her. They took off all the leaves and saw her. They now told her, Mama, you are here. We are attacked by the enemies. She said, I said it. She said, they told her we were attacked by flood. She said, I said it. They said, we were attacked by influenza. She said, I said it. But because simply put, the voice of ant only ground, those in the ground, and people who hear it, those in up will not hear it. So she has been warning the community, but they took her for granted because they don't hear her voice, took her to the forest and dumped her there. So all those things that happened to the community, she has been saying it as a warning. Now back to the question you asked me. Yes, we have been here drawing government attention to what government should do. And most times the government will respond. Most times government will not respond. That is why sometimes we will be angry to say the government is like Ebainang. I have to say this. I want you to understand that I'm speaking because I am very, very, disappointed in what is happening in the state. Ebainang is, I don't know how to explain to you, the breast of a cow that you have to beat and milk will come out. You shouldn't be forcing government to do its job. The issue of potholes that you asked me, Ike, we are now approaching rainy season.
Approaching? Oh,
I'm saying because very soon you will have
the
rain.
real
Rain will descend day and night. Why do we have a government that draws federal allocation that has internally generated revenue, and yet we are suffering with potholes? We are having, refuse, like you mentioned. I had to come here because when I say this, I will have enemies. The truth is, I have to say it. If I don't say it, who will say it? I was off air for 2 weeks, like you have said, and I monitored your show. Nobody came here. Nobody came here to say any of this. I don't know whether somebody is scared of his life. The truth is that we only have one life to live. I have taken pains that 2 weeks that I was off air to comb the state, and I want to announce to you that I have over 60 streets and roads ridden with potholes across the state so far, and more are going to be reeled out. First, let me start with Akaitiam, just off
going to
Akwanandem. The whole of that stretch takes you back to, it links you up to Ikon Road. All of that stretch is now, gone.
It's raining now. If you are just
you can't even drive there again.
Water usually gets flowed.
They went and poured stone base. It's washed off. OBMO, go and see what is happening there. NS Basi, go and see. We can't afford. I've been here shouting about we can't afford. Go and see. Ekbo boat, Gift Street, Ekpenyong Street, very bad. That needs drains from Udok Street to Mwangiba. Utang Street, Udok Street, from Barracks Road to Ekpenyong Street. Internal roads in the Wethausen. And the Wethausen is where you have the big shops. Even the government people are living there. Let me tell you that we have bad spots severally along the D line in the Wethausen, along where you have the Amity Hotel, Lagos Street, especially where you have the Speaker's Lodge, where the governor used, there's opposite where the governor used as campaign office, as governor used as campaign office is a campaign time. That stretch, Lagos Street, is bad. Ekpen close, where that links you to where you have Aqua Resort, the Angelo Hotel, take you down to where you have the EFCC, take you down to the 4-lane, is bad. F line from Mwangiba to Monef High School, that's Monef School, down to a Wethausen police station is bad. The Baptist Church from the 4-lane angle, the same that Wethausen, where you have Baptist Church from 4-lane close to the Wethausen police station is also bad. L line around where you have the residence of Engineer Frank Okon. That area is also bad. K line, the street on the left of the Castle Hotel. C line by Ubiom Street where you have Akurima that ought to fix potholes. That go and left and see. You can come in. You can come in from Mayflower and enter and see. That street is completely gone. Ncentop Street is very bad. Between Akar Road and Abak Road, it needs drains on both sides. Itiam Street, Jubilee School Road, Patako Street, Calabar Street, Ikono Street, Ikabasi Street, Ibiono Street, Sylvanus Okon Avenue. Oh, my brother. That particular project, Sylvanus Okon, was awarded, the job was awarded in 2017 by the Udom's administration. Let me not call the person that got the contract. And the design was ought to be a dual carriageway that will link to the Ring Road train. But that job was abandoned. The government had paid compensation for all the, for all the building, for all the houses that was on the right of way. Right now, go and see, the entire road is closed. People have built houses there again, closed the place. It's no longer going on. They've closed the place. The road now stopped at it now stopped at Nsukara Fort. That is where it now stopped. Very narrow now. Government have already paid for the right of way, and the job done halfway and stopped. Kelvin Lane, Umoren Street, Inima Drogban Street, Akatan Road, Akpan Esien Street, Ikora Parabia, via the Commissioner of Police Lodge, entrance to Akpan Obey from Samson Udoidiong Street, Samson Udoidiong Ring Road, entrance to Mbak Road from Ifa Ikoropan, from Ifa Big Junction, Umo Esien Street off Obimo Street. Then we enter Ike local government area. We have Grace B Road, we have Afaga Eke, we have Afarukwa Road, we have Enen Ekbenen Street, we have Akanemo Street, we have SDP Street, we have Idom Udo Street by the church of all nations. We have Arusisi, we have Arusisi Road, we have Afaga Ukwa. We have all these are potholes. We have the Apostolic Church Road. We have the Market Road. We have Ikot Udoma Road. Then Barenin, you have Ikot Edege Road by Ikot Usop.
Are you actually
I'm telling you, are potholes.
Are you actually going to
No.
Did you count the potholes in the roads? Like
These are roads.
If you come to like Akaitiam Road
Okay.
in Uyo, you can count potholes that are there. Did you count the number of potholes? Because what I think you need to do is you go to all these roads,
Okay.
count the number of potholes, and also quantify the material
Okay.
that will be used to
do it.
To do it.
So that's
Okay.
more like
So
an
that
Now,
assignment.
okay.
you will be
Okay,
yes.
now, okay,
Then
wait.
when
Okay.
you do that, when you present it to the governor,
Okay.
we will now see that we need like 10 billion naira
To do it.
to
Thank
cover
you.
all the potholes. Because the other time I heard that 90 million was released for
Okay.
potholes. I say it won't do anything.
No. That was
It won't do
no,
anything.
yeah. Let me
So-
let me just respond quickly. You will continue. You see, we are not quantity engineers or road we are our job as citizens is to point out these potholes. We're not going to be counting. We have 10 potholes in this street. That's why I mentioned the spots, the roads. Now, what the government normally do, which I commend the governor, we did this thing before, and the governor took action and called the Ministry of Works and called the agency concerned and say, clear all the potholes. And then they launched Operation Zero Pothole Phase 1. And they went all around, like the 2-lane, like the one you have at Uran Street, by Uran Street. Everywhere, government was everywhere, even at 4-lane, the service lane.
They didn't finish the one.
That's the point.
Near my area. They started, but they didn't finish.
Finish. You see,
Maybe when
that
the
was
governor-
the phase 1.
When the
Which one is
governor,
that? Which one is that?
Akaitiam,
From the beginning to the end.
Yes, they didn't finish
Is
it. They started, but they didn't.
They stopped.
Finish. Yes.
Yeah,
So the roads
they
are
pour,
still
no,
bad.
at that time they pour stone base in some parts.
Yes.
And abandon it.
When the governor comes to the stadium today, I will tell him to use that road.
You see, so
And
you see,
that is the
that is
best
the way to
way
draw
for him to
attention.
see.
Yeah.
He will use that road
That road
and
and
he will
see.
see that they didn't finish it.
That's it. But now the truth is that you see the part of the most annoying part is that governor must have released funds that they should do it.
Is it
And
also-
the
is it
and the
not also
report.
possible? Is it not also possible that the governor is not aware?
That is why we are here.
The governor cannot be everywhere.
Everywhere. That is why we are here.
That is one of the reasons.
That is why we are here.
You don't need to be an engineer to be a governor. You don't need to be a professor to be a governor. When you are a governor, you get special experts
To do those
in
jobs.
those areas. Those experts are the people that will come and tell the governor,
This is what is happening here.
a pinhole today. We can cover it with 10,000 naira. If you leave it for the next 2 weeks, it will enter a pothole, and then we will use 200,000 naira to cover it. So we better will cover this pinhole now.
Good.
That is what.
Let me help you. Or let me say this, not helping you now. You've made your point. Let me just help you. Or okay, sorry, let me say this. Yes, the governor will not be an engineer. Governor will not be a lawyer. Governor will not be, a plane captain, and all of those.
Or someone that operates
helicopter to be able to do. But he gets expert. Now, back to your question. Have you driven lately? Okay, now it's running enough from here. Let us drive down to Oron Road by Uran Street. There used to be a manhole. Shortly, if you're coming from Mayflower, before you turn to enter Uran Street, you will see a manhole in the middle of the road that has now been asphalted.
Yes.
Now it has not been covered. Now when it rains, now it's raining now, water will now find its way. Water will now be coming out from the ground, because water that manhole ought to distill water and empty it in Wahiba. But now what happens now is that when it rains like this, if any vehicle is not careful, you can skip the road because water will always stand in there. That is because those who did the job perhaps didn't understand that manholes are meant to drain water. So the governor doesn't need to know this, that you must be able to, you don't cover manholes. When you are walking and you see a manhole on the road, ask yourself, those who designed this road and put manhole there, why was it so? So what you do is you will use a plank and cover the manhole, because when you use your pivot machine to pour your asphalt, it will just pour and cover the manhole if you don't cover that particular place with plank. So what they did now was to fill that place, and now water now stands there, whether it rains or not.
To account, but all these things you say on this radio every time, have you seen professor commissioner for works. You need to go and make him friend because
No, wait.
They're from the same place
wait,
now.
let
They're
me-
from the same place.
Yes, you should be going to his office.
You see,
Because now you are trying to drag the governor from other things he's doing
No,
to
not-
go and intervene on all these issues. What you're supposed to do
Is
is
to
to
go
go
to
to
my
the commissioner.
Now, okay.
He's your friend.
Okay.
Go to. In fact, I've been to his house in the village.
Okay, now,
So you go to him.
yes,
Go to the people in charge of all this. The Uyo.
Village Road,
No, there is Uyo something.
Akrema.
Akrema, or
Yeah,
UCCDA.
Akrema.
Yes, those people. Go to them.
Okay.
Present all these things to them.
Okay.
Work with them.
Now, you see, the funniest part is, or the unfortunate thing here is that the person that is commissioner for works is my brother. We drink from the same communion table, the same church, from the same communion table, from the same community, from the same language, the same lineage. That is the unfortunate thing. But why is it unfortunate now is that I ought to be on radio on this matter more than once. For me to come here more than once, it means there is a communication breakdown. You understand now? Because most of these things ought to be something that when you go, and like you are saying now, you call him on the phone, he picks your call. And you go and tell him, this and this falls under your ministry. How are you doing it?
Yes.
You understand? Okay, fine. You don't even call him. You speak once. Pick up his phone and call you. I heard what you discussed. Can you come let us see those areas and go and see it? That is how it ought to be. Because they are holding public office. The same way we are doing our job, holding them accountable. They are also accountable to people, to someone else who appointed them. Now, when you call them, they don't pick. What do? And people are calling you. The citizens are calling you.
Call them again.
When you call again, they don't pick. What happens?
Call their wives.
No. You don't go that family. You don't go into family matter.
Uh-huh.
No, you don't. You see.
You need to.
The way we are trained in advocacy wasn't that way.
Why I'm saying this is that there's something that happened in Enugu State and Abia State. There was one day I was driving from Enugu to Abia State to Uyo, and I entered some very bad potholes in Umuahia. I just brought my phone immediately. I called the governor of Abia State. He didn't pick. I messaged him. I told him, I calculated the length of the road where the potholes were. I was mentioning the names of those places. The next day, he sent people there.
Good.
When I was coming from Enugu, I also saw a school being built. They call it smart school. But the roofs were olden type 1920 roof. The commissioner of education is my friend. I called him. I said, how can you be calling this smart school when you are using 1920 roof? The type of roof you can use to roof his house.
In my fishing pond.
The next time they brought the new design, they put a smart roof on it. So I think you need to actually find a way to get to the commissioner.
Okay.
You need to get to him. The Akrema
and Asema.
And your friend, what is his name?
Prince Kim. We give him information. We do, actually. So it's just to call him out and get his people to work.
We need to desil to Uyo.
Okay.
If Uyo is desilted, 70% of the flooding will go.
Will go.
You don't need all this underground drainage here and there. One day, if there is any earth tremor or even earthquake, we will be in trouble.
God won't let it.
Let me even add. Let me even add this.
We don't have that in Africa.
Let me even add. Yes, thank you for bringing this issue of underground drainage system. Our team went to Nelson Mandela where they are doing the underground drainage system. They have dug the ground. It's, where they close Calabar to that we came here to talk about it. Now, why it was closed? Because from Nelson Mandela to Udoite, that links up to Ipa Road, they are trying to do underground drainage system that will now empty to the pipe jacket that Akpabio did at Itam. Now, they have dug the ground deeper than even a NEPA pole. Let me use that language. A NEPA pole. Now, such kind of job can be done under rainy season. People are in the ground walking. It could cave in because it is flooded that the whole drain, the whole ditch is flooded, and it almost caved in while people are walking inside there. So you don't do it during rainy season.
Even the one they did in what do you call it, falling, you almost fell, my brothers.
Inside. So you must be careful.
You have to reinforce the whole fence.
So that's the point.
If you drive past that place, you see it. So the thing is, I think the people that are working with the governor should,
that's where we are.
Should help him.
That's where we are now. Now my engagement with the various agencies. I was driving from the Stadium Road. There is a small pothole, very small pothole. I was between 50 to 60 kilometers per hour. Shortly after that, the junction, you are going towards Aka Road. No, where you get to your sister station somewhere there. Small pothole, very small. They are twin on the road. I drove in. My tire got busted.
That day I saw you on the road.
Exactly.
To buy a tire.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you. You saw me on the road.
Yes.
Good.
You say you are going somewhere.
That's it.
You had the shoes.
I had to now drive the next morning to Akrima, and I asked them, "What are you doing? Your job is to fix potholes. Look at what happened to me. Now you have a plant yard, you have equipment. They have been refurbished. You have all equipment you need. Why are you not fixing potholes, for God's sake?" So when we do like this, we don't have a dislike for the government. We want the government to call its men to order.
What of the chairman of Uyo local government?
Well, Uyo local government council has its own limits.
No.
The young man has his own limits. The young man will not be fixing potholes.
Yes, that is his work.
In the state road.
Yes,
in
that
state
is
road,
his work.
But the government refund you.
That is his work.
I think the man focus more on community development and local government councils.
Where is the community in New York?
Well, the man has his job.
The thing is, if the state government constructs the road, it is the work of the local government to maintain the road.
Good.
So he has to maintain the road. Okay, look at the Uyo village road. You know that road is costing the government money because people neglected their duties. There is no way in this world that they would have allowed those refuse to come into the road and
destroy it. Look at government house. Look at the yellow government council. Look at the health center.
There are a lot, and the worst part of it is that when you are passing there, you will see dozers, and then you see people.
It became criminal hideouts
from a lot of areas to come and buy the plastics. You already seen that these people know that this is business.
It's a market.
So why not make it a business? Why not just do it well? Why must you bring it to the main road? You have dozers, you have the space, you have the people to buy them, you have the compactors. Why are those things still coming to the road? It's just about sheer neglect, and I don't even call it incompetence. It's negligence, and people
maybe they've run out of ideas.
No, it's shamelessness.
Okay.
I say, like, if a governor or a local government chairman drives through a road and there is a pothole in that road and the person doesn't cover it, it's not that that person doesn't know that that pothole should be covered. It's not that he's so incompetent that he doesn't know that that road is uneven. It is just because the person doesn't have shame. When you lack shame, you can leave your duties not to be done, and you are not even interested in what people think about you.
Okay,
wait, just wait. Before you go, just to add to his stuff. They will come in before my friend Dr. Bid leaves. What you are saying is true. I commend the governor again. You recall the governor was having Thanksgiving they had the NUJ Thanksgiving at a church in his community. The governor went to that church, and while he was making his comment, he said that he came here when he was doing his Senate into Thanksgiving in the same church and saw this roof and called his appointees to fix this roof. Then he now comes again. The same roof that he asked should be done has not been done.
But
so that's the point.
It's the same thing that happened last time we did the plugin. clean-up campaign that we brought a lot of people. You were not there. I don't know. We
I wasn't
invited
in
you.
town.
You don't want to keep Akwa Ibom clean.
And you see
You were not there. The
Go,
commissioner
John.
of police was there. The
I wasn't in town.
NSCDC, the road safety, all of
Next
them
one I will be
were
there.
there. All of them were there. And after that, when the governor joined us, and then we went to the plaza, and the first thing he said, I think I told you people to remove all these things. Please,
That's the point.
by Monday, this should be gone. See this television here. This is where people supposed to be doing their happy hour. I want it to be repaired. And to tell you that he has talked about it, he called a contractor in this Uyo and said, where is the design for remodeling of this place? And the contractor brought the design to tell you that he has been actively talking about that place.
But nobody take action.
But they don't take action.
That's the point.
Another thing is that the governor cannot be everywhere.
So that is why we are everywhere on his behalf.
Yes, but even when you are talking here, maybe it is Honorable Aneka Nomana
that will not even allow him to listen, and they won't
he
him.
will tell him. No,
Okay.
Aneka Nomana is a very good man.
He's
a very good man.
I will call him after now.
Yes,
I will call him after now.
He will tell him.
He will tell him.
When we went to the office the other day, they had like 50 radios that they used to monitor.
Put your this thing.
So, gentlemen, this is the point where I crave. Thank you very much, Dr. Beat. Comes in once a while. Even when you ask him to stay and come again, he won't. He comes in once a while and disappears for 10 years. So let's take a few calls. And these are issues. And we want the governor to succeed.
Yep.
That is why we're having this conversation. We want the governor to see beyond the hallelujah and the yes sirs. And take actions. We don't have no beef. In fact, we have maximum love for the governor, but we need him to succeed. So I'll take a few calls and read a few messages, and then thank you.
Yep.
You brought him out. He's always hiding.
He's always hiding.
You brought him out.
Of course, I know. I know he will be here.
Yeah, you brought him out. So let's bring the calls in 0906 000 4945, alternative 0906 0005945. Messages, if I can take a few, 0906 000 9455. This is how good it gets on Passion. Hello, good morning. Morning, welcome. Your name, please. Miss Akbar, what happened to your voice? Dr. Bida stepped out.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
You are doing a nice job.
Thank you, sir.
Is that the government in power should listen. Because I remember when they talked about the 19-story building, Akwa Ibom criticized it. But I was shocked that the governor has gone to Lagos to lay the foundation. That means that at that point, the people's voice were no longer relevant. So, okay, government, try your best.
Thank you, sir.
Because of the interest you have for the state.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And let's continue. It was a few calls. Hello, good morning. Yes, good morning. Your name and where you calling from? We wish you same.
Good morning.
Wish you same.
Good morning.
Please, I want to use this opportunity to talk about it's not only you. This is called about the road. Please, I want people to use this opportunity as we have number 3 man in the government. Please, to do Ikorabati road for us. From Ikorabati is very bad. It's very bad. Those are our personalities. If they went to Port Harcourt, they would have not thrown road. It's so soon. They will not like to pass that road. Please don't listen. Those people are suffering. Ikorabati, from Ikorabati to Ikorabati. The road is too tiny. Please, let government do something about it. Please.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, you see the road to Ikorabasi from Ekparakwa, I've even been there, even up to Regina Cheli. It's a very bad spot. People now have to do a detour now to follow through Eket axis. I think there is need, generally speaking, for the government to take action and ensure that they clean off all these potholes. We have potholes across the entire state, not only in the ones I have mentioned.
All right, so let me read a few messages and then see if we can complement that with 1 or 2 calls. You don't get to hear these 2 people banter on a daily, so there was need to allow them to talk for a while. So that's why we took a bit of your time, and sometimes you just listen, just listen and absorb, and of course make contributions when and where necessary. A message here is from What's your name here? Prudent Emmanuel says, good morning, Passion FM. Greetings to Twikong. It's quite shameful that the state that we used to praise as cleanest is now turning something else. The president, as a president, the agency sided with that, with our friend and brother, Prince Ikem, should employ more laborers to do the job. Gutters in a back road alone testify to the fact that the ministry needs more hands. Thank you very much. We'll take another. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
We'll appreciate it if you can speak up, please. You're very low.
Oh, good morning. My name is David. I'm calling you from New York.
David, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Good morning, sir. Please, what I want to contribute there is, I think the most problem that we have on our roads is the poor contractors working on this our road. Because I believe that if they awarded a contract, road construction to someone, to a contractor, and the road should be able to stand the test of time, maybe for like years. Look at the contractor that they awarded jobs for at Ifabi Junction. The person just did the job halfway and leave the job there. Look at the road in Bahrain in lower government, as some precisely. The commissioner then was supervising the job. If you enter the road presently now, you see potholes everywhere. The road is not even up to yet.
All right. Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you. Well, Twickham, before you respond, let me quickly read this message. This one is from Ogasoni Text, although I want it shorter because we don't have time. When the messages are pretty long, it takes a lot of breath to read them. Someone says, good morning. Once again, Group Captain and Twickham Franklin in song, and the other guests in the studio. Twickham has spoken very well by saying that the people must do the work assigned to them by the governor. I have been saying here that there are people who want to do rubbish, or who want to rubbish this government. That's why I'm saying so. Most of them don't tell the governor the truth about their area of assignment. Ogasoni Text, please, you will forgive me. I will stop there. We don't have the luxury of time, and that's why I've often said that messages should be short and brief.
Yeah, I think to be fair to today's conversation, it would be unfair for me if I don't, just mention one or two other roads that are of, urgent attention. I was talking about Umoisien Street off Obimo, very deplorable. I mentioned Eket. We have a few roads there in Eket. We have Grace B Road. We have Afara Eket Road. We have Afara Ukwa Road. We have Enen Ekpene Street. We have Akanemo Street. We have SDP Road. We have Edemudo Street by Church of All Nations, where the governor, the governor is said to be, the owner of the church. Then you have the RCC Road. You have the Afara Ukwa Uboridem Road. We have the Apostolic Road, Market Road, Ikod Udoma Road. Then in Barenin, we have Ikod Edege Road by Ikod Usop. Then the one that the caller just mentioned now is called Awa Asom. Ikod Edem Ukam, which was done during the Udom's government by the Ifeanyi, as the head of the ministry. Then you have the Asong, Ikod Ebiere Road. You have Ikod Akpaden, Ekam, Ikoroba Road. You have Ekam. No, it's done. I have Ekam, Ikorukwa, Ndon, Obodum Road. You have then this one is you to put a roundabout between the Ikorobaden junction to to make sure that vehicles that comes in from the east-west road do not cause accident. Then you have in Ikorobasi, you have Ete Ascon Village, Ikorobasi Road. Then you have Regina Cheli, east-west road. Then you have Ekpene Ukpa, Ekparakwa, Ukanafon Road. Then finally, in Abak local government, you have Market Road, Mpokporo Street, Ikot Okoro Road. Then Etimekbo, you have that the roundabout which we have mentioned, roundabout between Etimekbo that leads you to Ika. These are roads that we think that the government should, send his team to fix as we are approaching the rainy season. Okay, so let me just quickly touch on this message. This one is from Morkoyo Esang. Says Franklin, a song is consummate, and we're happy to
having with you in the studio today. So somebody's
Thank you, sir.
To have you in the studio. And this one, before I dash out, of course, we got something text. Sorry, can't read more again. This one, just one. Hello, good morning. Yes, the final caller, welcome.
Greet everyone.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Correction, this is Passion FM. You called the wrong station, please. Anita. Yes, go ahead.
So I want to speak on this road, about road. Like about road by Gemba. There is a water thing. Like when rain fall like this, that road you cannot pass. And go out that in Gemba, there is a big water there, and there is water. There is tons of erosion. There are houses. Water always in that people's house, and people shop. People cannot enjoy their house again. It's almost cheap there. So I think government should help us and take around that in Gemba. There is a lot of it stuff in that road. Please, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's get your part in short. There was something you said. I'd like to get that again. You said something about the ant. I'd like for you to speak that again. The ant only speaks and the languages.
Yes,
say that
the
again.
ant of the languages is only those in the. It's only.
Yeah, no, say in your language. I
Okay.
get that. Say in your language.
Iko nuene kwa isong aseko anyom isikopo.
Okay, so
Simply put, nuene kwa
kopo.
iko nuene kwa. Isong aseko.
Okay.
Anyom isikopo.
Okay,
It is
so
only
I'm gonna cut my tongue
ant.
off if I try that.
The words of the ant is only those on the ground who put their ears on ground that can hear it. But those people who is standing tall, moving up, you won't hear. So what we are doing here is because we are ordinary people.
Yeah, we are these songs.
We are this song. We are the ants. Who are Franklin? Who is Franklin? Who is Dr. B?
Do you know why
Who is Ike?
Do you know why I asked you to say that?
For them
as
to
your
listen to
parting
us.
shot? Do you know why I asked you to say that as your parting shot?
I wouldn't know your
It's
mind.
very instructive.
Very,
Let's
very.
leave it there. So thank you, Utweko.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You heard it. Iswa.
Iko nuene kwa.
Iswa.
No, not Iswa. Iko nuene kwa.
Iko
Iko nuene akwa.
Aqua.
Isong. I say kopo.
Kopo.
I know it's kopo.
Okay. Let's look at the kopo. But I hope somebody has coped what we said.
Exactly.
We have said something, the Iswa, we cannot copy our Inwa, so kopo. But let me say, let's do it again. Let's do the kopo tomorrow. Next up, kopo to the sports. I'm out.